Peace FM 104.3.
Spread of the jihadist movement concentrated around the Chad Basin. Alote alluded to it a bit. And threatening to spread. I suggest that is more key to the motivation to use arms than just the coup d'etats. Well, but as I said yesterday, you don't even understand the terrain. You want to commit soldiers? When you don't even understand the terrain. Anyway, Alote, this one goes out to you. Alote Tourist Board should encourage the production and sale of souvenirs related to every tourist spot. What we sell at the castles can be purchased at other places. I visited the Peace Memorial Park in Hiroshima in Japan. They sell postcards, key holders, openers, a replica. The only building that was not destroyed by the atomic bomb. Kwame, before one leaves the place, you would have spent quite an amount. It's the same in Barcelona, the Basilica. The same at Checkpoint Charlie in Berlin. Let's learn from them. Phillips in Tardy. And then Mame Sewa says, Alote, good morning. I agree with you 100% about Cape Coast. I am not from that area, but I've always wondered why they are not benefiting from all the tourism. But however, my question to you, Alote, is why didn't you do something about it when you were part of government? Kwame, the coup that was staged because of bad governance and the people of Niger are happy. Now, sending troops to Niger means you're going to kill civilians. We don't support any war in Niger. Leave the citizens of Niger to enjoy their peace. ECOWAS itself is a body of some weak leaders who have no thoughts of their own nor a progressive plan to deal with their individual states. No wonder anything they touch ends up in shambles. What power then will these judges hold? This is just another ceremonial thing. Eja Daminyan mem. Kwamena.
Origins Rights Protection
Society. When you ban British government was what was
1844 was it? 1844 was a bond of 1844.
The bond of 1844. Then I was signing war woman. And then we bubu at so pansam.
Was signing war Cape Coast Castle and
was signing war Cape Coast Castle.
Was signing war Kumaso.
No. Was signing war Cape Coast. Yeah, make sure. At the Brixford Hall.
Uncle, I have the original handwritten bond. Ono Otroy and Okade, they signed it at the Cape Coast Castle.
Yeah, Momencho there.
In the bond.
From what I have, it says the bond of 1844 was signed at Kwamena Duncan.
No, that was even I know you later on. George McLean,
6th March 1844, signed by Fanti chiefs and Britain.
Yes. Okay, anyway, let's proceed. Let's proceed. Maminchia.
You Obama Ghana school.
Maminchia waiting for
Niger Coup is the
Kwame, a soldier in a Ghanaian soldier or war British Army, offense Sergeant Boydie.
Hey, Boydie.
I was with you, I know you be retail. Now, Mincha woman.
Sergeant Boydie.
John or Queen Nazi.
That is a different one. On our friend, or only a Lieutenant Colonel by now.
Yeah, Lieutenant Colonel.
I'm referring to Sergeant Boydie. Stand at ease.
Kwame, ma anepe is that to go ye
yeah.
Niger coup should Ghana commit troops to Niger.
Yep.
And as of team Kakrebi wanna say ECOWAS week. Time for African leaders to do some self-introspection. A lawyer in paying bipa na. He was one time director of legal education. In Payimpa na I've been there.
Ija.
Now he goes by the alias Kakeku.
Edam?
No. See, Ozzy, ono Osho Tekrima, who sends out there. Abai, Oyi Asredafo, Ghana Asredafo. On your Niger, new position. Na Mama Shada Samoso Mayne Yagina. I mean, that argument is so attractive to make. Yes.
Attractive to me.
Attractive. Or as on the surface, it's just heads of state, no heads of government in Crown Park. Well, by a dumb argument there, why do we commit soldiers to Niger? And see, ordinarily, the first instinct, more by now, I say, na soldier for young work, then war, and Niger. Now, all you there in crafting this topic for discussion.
Yes.
I don't know what came to mind. Your further question, ECOWAS week. Time for African leaders to do some self-introspection.
Because of the commentary about the very leaders, Nankasa.
Yes. That itself is laden with issues. First and foremost, Obi Boshe, Oye, a man painful Nankasa, Wogina Bia Wangasa, one man meme. Obi Nida, and sometimes it is baffling. Principle is principle. When you have stood for a particular principle, no matter the situation, you must stand by that principle. When you tout the point there, you fight it, you will suffer for it, for democracy.
We suffered for it for democracy. Hold your thought, the Mrebe CCR. We suffered for it for democracy. In common years in Ubia Mame, further and better particulars. Okay. Also, Kwame, the gentleman's name is Lieutenant Colonel Nana Kofi Chumesi Ankara.
All right.
Lieutenant Colonel Nana Kofi Chumesi Ankara, born 1979. A Ghanaian-born officer in the British Army, appointed Queen Elizabeth II as her equerry. He was the first black man to hold this position. He's an officer of the Household Cavalry, and a veteran of the war in Afghanistan and Iraq.
Beautiful.
Into W1 Danso Atchison. Thank you, sir.
Atchison, yes,
Amatis. Kwamena.
And see, Kwame, in a point, I'm making there. It's what the once a brand there. Yeah, more we suffered for it. Yeah, done who prison, who the persecution we suffered for democracy. Kwame, the principle was good. You stood for it. And any day, any time, you must stand by it and defend it. And so when, on one level, Coup And ECOWAS, baby. Nah, sir, defend we should leave it to the Nigerian people themselves to determine their own destiny. And then there will be so then see the body to you fought for democracy. Na principle ni ayimana.
About 4
It's Kwame, you say bia na o hakakra. Kwame.
Kwame.
Oya mawesi wo Niger. Yedi nka ye humosi wo Guinea. Papa ba benza tense ofane dum bayo
dumbaya. Pardon oyibenyo.
Beyin papa.
I need na de dum so.
President you know.
Oh that. Oyibenyo.
My junto obuno akasha tole.
Kwame.
Ouch.
Yedi fuo ma yedi kwekwo wiem wo Mali. Edi be fuo ba Burkina Faso. Ni de ko wie wo Niger. Our potential for democracy in our sub-region to go down.
Peace FM.
Our the Ibinomusa Kweku referred to them as the
lunatic French.
Lunatic French. Kwame. I'm going to perfect. Also, you can say they want to or they may looking to take a cue. Na mampemfo wa kind of son to wa da. Na Kwame say hwe ECOWAS. Our protocols our protocol relating to the mechanism for conflict prevention management conflict prevention, management, resolution, peacekeeping, and security. Ah, yeah, 1999. No was signing. Now what the room? Maka bibi nkakankra mayanhwe. Osanda, we need to have a basis of what ECOWAS seeks to do. Ishe oya one Article 1 on the establishment. Others hereby established within the economic community of West African states a mechanism for collective security and peace to be known as Mechanism for Conflict Prevention, Management, Resolution, Peacekeeping, and Security. Obia wodam instrumenti. Kwame say kama oyendema pi. What was offered the Mediation and Security Council? Mediation and Security Council, out of the membership, it is 9 of them that constitute the Mediation and Security Council. 9 of the membership, the contracting states.
ECOWAS.
ECOWAS. 7 elected and 2 by the positions they hold. First is the chairman of the current chairman of the community, and then the immediate past chairman. And today the 9 constitute the Mediation and Security Council. Now under the Mediation and Security Council, what specifically authorize all forms of intervention and decide particularly on the deployment of political and military missions.
Okay.
So echo further down.
ECOWAS the mandate.
The mandate one kasa. This is protocol. You mean the treaty?
When now
acceded, signed up to it. And see, it guides them. Well, under the Mediation and Security Council, organs, one of which is the ECOMOG. That's the Economic Committee for Peace. No.
ECOMOG was specific. It was started for Liberia.
But in fact, it's now been properly and duly captured. ECOWAS ceasefire monitoring group. That's how they refer to it. Always Juma. What's that Mahua? Under Article 22, role of ECOMOG is clearly spelled out there. But further down, Kwame, say Article 25 are conditions for application of the mechanism of security and peacekeeping application. Now, if you go to paragraph B,
also
the mechanism shall be applied in any of the following circumstances. B, as in cases of aggression or conflict in any member state or threat thereof, but specifically when there is a condition that poses a serious threat to peace and security in the sub-region. Kwame, sir,
peace and security in the sub-region.
In the sub-region. Isha, oya the main clavin are very, very volatile. Volatile because within those states themselves, there are pockets of oppositions that have taken to armed struggle. Then you have this overarching group called the jihadists, and they are cutting across and linking up major disturbance within that enclave.
And a lot of this has to do with natural resources as well.
Exactly. And which has made it as attractive. Wagner group the governments of these states think that the war over the jihadists can be won with the Wagner behind them.
When they themselves are terrorists.
Exactly. It's
mercenaries,
and in some circumstances,
hired guns. Yeah.
Yes, in some circumstances, they may be called as terrorists
and rebels.
It's Kwame.
Even in Russia.
Sir, amaya wo oya ebibre atoyim ha. Sir, ya tantra ho ya hwe. The easy oya Mali wasam, easy oya Burkina Faso wasam. Easy or Niger wasama. What did it means? Sir, number say your kodi or koda. Oya da friend arms. Ma what did they woo in a new movement within the sub-region? oyeda okunditia amama nkaya wadwen on there what ye because if you have this fertile ground where all kinds of insurgencies are going on and with the supply of arms in whichever forms so you stand the danger as a country that you have one was open there what for do the one over to cry waba now what's it the more you do know what about it was
is this not the time that order your strength in intelligence gathering your intelligence services
once you do that if you would have to take the necessary steps to ensure that you have a proper government in place to take charge. In fact, oye DJ say reporter waba they had not achieved 100% security they looked for, but they had made a good progress. Under President here says here Bazoum, says here was charging for treason. Kwame, he had made a good progress. In fact, a month na wajja dase were a number of media outlets. Wajja dase kasa de yendu maye be maye pede yedu. Nanso paper by progress is making progress.
Kwamena, there must be Western manipulation in Kawa.
Yes.
You cannot take that one away from it because they have interest there.
Okay, Chiado.
You can't.
The uranium deposits.
Yes, they have interest there and the establishment of their own bases and all of that. And see, you cannot. But Kwame, anyone don't know it is somewhere remote from home. Nanya the Osiano pe. What's all coming now? No, what can you? And see, ECOWAS. So apart from this, there's also, in fact, they have several protocols. Nina, they have signed up to all the wood na what you bibi, and especially to ensure that all your kabi agents was sub regime. You may have a problem with how a country is managing its democratic principles and governance. You may have a problem with that. Kwame Anam, when you mentioned Cote d'Ivoire,
yeah.
He didn't get up overnight and say that, oh, look, my son. He went through the...
My term.
He
just didn't get up to say, I'm extending my term.
At all. You may not like it. But, you see, the process as prescribed by the Constitution itself. But again, the question will be that half a loaf is better than none.
Than both fruit.
Whereas he remains a democratic government. The party, a soldier for Wabaye. A soldier for the one I want to Ebekacho and Kabi. Another, you were right for this, right for that. A soldier for wants to turn on to them. It's quite me, don't miss it. A democracy wanted to happen some cry, may you show you or yetchen. So, Jabang. What happened in Gambia? I've been able to Jawal if you owe me. Oba chila show na chiwa dan nzi. Wa dan nzi.
Oya sofu no oya nzi.
Nzi ka ho. Nzama no no ye. Nti soja bande. Kwame soja bande. What ba shasa because after all human beings in fact impa ye na papa na pia. Kwame.
No.
Ma dinsa.
Ya dinsa.
Ya na fi won kere wo fa na bibi atowa na. Bo no hye na olbose. That is the nature and character of human beings.
Ba Kwame. Kwamena. Them yaya offender. Yaya Jame. Oyo wakafa wangasa they agreed to do an interim government be. They want to Obama Barrow. Barrow be 3 years.
What to Obama Lucy? No so
no amemba and that make that is the African politician. Impana way in if you wanna work or exile. If he 3 years in MP no until the meza eboko about 2 bill na ezi women the minti onye Yaya Jamaica here for the former alliance
when Yaya Jamaica no hasem
no Barrow
Adama
Barrow ni Yaya Jamaica here for to form an alliance towards an election. That means that is the African politician for you.
Anyway, that's our Alute's version. But Kwame,
Alute's version.
Talking about elections, Enyim Professor Answer Jampa.
Yeah, be me.
Na enyim de opedo UTAC president University of Ghana.
Oh.
What's what to Abachina?
What about you?
It is Orifi, I mean the General Secretary.
Secretary to
President.
Okasha Professor Ovana. Law faculty Professor Edia Bibi.
And I'm managing a
what more is there on his lips to do a young?
Oh, but it will be interesting for him to be UTAC president, University of Ghana, Legon.
All right.
Anyway, and I'm just talking about this. This is to be Kwamena Duncan, Ransom Jampo, or call University of Ghana UTAC president.
We wish him well.
In fact, I wish him well.
Yes.
I wish him well.
Yes.
Professor Jampo.
Now no fire then so no
Nedibana it's on your one
his critics he's a nice guy and you know if he's up on her
abi wa be question engbo yin na bisa na no kokko
well but
no bisa na no kokko info je won yin so egbo
anyway Kwamena Duncan
yes Kwame enti dem me din kan wa hyesen oye manfa asrodafo nko oye very attractive
nanso asrodafo na workwen
and your point was that do they know the terrain Kwame che wa wo papa fu wontum won so akri wonko
no
mechen that is why after the 1 week ultimatum or there was shase watan ho as oye military officers in one high commander will execute this point. Plans are warfare. The drone information I will pick. The collaboration they will do with America, with France, and all of that, with British facilities and structures to be able to have full control. As we don't know the terrain. And now on yet that way defines us there. What could there or your conventional warfare? No.
It will be intelligence led,
and again, the ECOWAS itself has already imposed sanctions. And a part of ECOWAS mandate there. When they impose sanctions, they even send military command or the military units to go and enforce the sanctions.
But sometimes sanctions that you impose on it may come back and bite us. Because, for example, trade sanctions and stuff. You
can't eat your cake and have it.
Okay.
As a Michelle, you are looking at two things, which is the better evil. One, that the entire community will be disturbed, our very security will be undermined, and we go to sleep and one eye is closed and one open, and all of that. As against there, for about a year or two, when the sanctions were biting, I mean, you definitely go for the latter. That you quite now you're security. Now, Kwame, the Anamwa or man paying button is guided by the constitutional under the directive principles of state policy. Equal Article 40. As in its dealings with other nations, the government shall, more of interest is C&D, promote respect for international law. Treaty obligations and the settlement of international disputes by peaceful means. Go further.
Dialogue.
Yes.
Dialogue.
Yes.
That's diplomacy and dialogue.
But Kabila,
I said it was the first option.
Kabila, we may not be privy to all that is going on.
Of course.
I am sure as we speak, and when the military are going to meet here in Ghana, I'm sure either today or tomorrow, the military high command from the various countries, they are going to meet here in Ghana. I am sure already there is some attempt or effort for dialogue in place already. And see, that is what 40C says. You go to 40D, adhere to the principles. So as a government, the steps we take, the dealings we do with other nations, we must adhere to the principles enshrined in, or as the case may be, the aims and ideals of the Charter of the United Nations, the Charter of the Organization of African Unity, the Commonwealth, the Treaty of the Economic Community of West African States, and the other international organizations. If you go further to 73, Because these are the articles which deal with externals. If you go to 73, Kwame, 73, the government of Ghana shall conduct its international affairs in consonance with the accepted principles of public international law and diplomacy in a manner consistent with the national interest of Ghana. Are we saying that the security of the sub-region, which has a direct effect on us, it is not in consonance with our national interest?
It is.
It is. It is. And see, a man paying, if we place ourselves in his shoes, Uncle Nebia, Ningan the Waja da say, when you're an apeco container in Katunquabeji, and see, at his pleasure, I saw that for Munko at all. At all. And the man, when you say, we share. Oh, yeah, what suffered the door, the woman information. And the man, when you come, you know, name me. I mean, I would know him. And see, Ansana, or man paying Biara, and we must indeed credit them with a certain sense of feeling. Or man paying Biara, but you turn a more than Damna Mepeda Megan. Now, Kwame, or what's that way, could do. And I'm sure putting all of it on the scale, that it will be better if we go in this direction.
Peace FM 104.3. Good to meet you.